Okay, today I want to show you how to import scalar graphic art from Inkscape into Blender and then converting it into a word processor so that it can be coded and transported into EagleCAD, and it will give you unique shapes and designs, like for example this boundary that I have right here. Now so this is a boundary outline. When you put it inside of EagleCAD, it is a wire, and so I'm going to show you how to import as a polygon and as a wire, so that you can have different shapes. Now, before I get started, I just want to say that this is not as hard as I probably just made it sound out to be. If you haven't used Blender or Inkscape, they're free programs. Same with EagleCAD. Same with the OS I'm currently using. I'm using Ubuntu. It's my favorite. So let's see real quick. Battery's perfect. C8. Okay, so I'm creating a barrel right now, and let me delete most of this. Now, I'm not going to give you the full tour of Inkscape. I'm just going to show you some useful, some useful tools and techniques. One of the nice things about Inkscape is that you can have obviously transparencies. You can snap. If you double click on an item and you get these rotation handles, you can move the center of rotation and snap it to the center of your grid, and then you can rotate it, or you can rotate it manually by hitting transform, rotate, hit an angle like 25 degrees, and you can rotate 25 degrees. And then if you want to click on the handle and holding it down with the left mouse button, you hit spacebar, you can duplicate. You could duplicate your object, and then you can obviously go in circles, and you could attach your rotational points to anything. You could attach it to the center of an object. With this button, you can attach it to a grid point. You could snap it to different nodes. Now, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to teach you, but it's a great program. It's very similar, I've heard, to Illustrator. I really haven't used Illustrator, so I can't tell you exactly what that's like. You can also do some things like I've made my own PCBs exclusively in Inkscape. You can, for example, let's say that you were making this right here was a. Let me see if I can get a good example of something. Okay, so let's say that I was making this the surface mount pads for this switch right here. What I could do is notice how it says, okay, well, this pad is it a 1.4 inches by, what does it say the length is? 2.1? 1.4 by 2.1. I could make a square. I could say I want 1.4 by 2.1. Right. And then I can say, okay, well, where's the button? Where'd it go? PDF? Okay. And, I can find the center for each of these, or I guess this is a corner, right? But I'd have to know the center. And then I could snap. Okay, wait, hold on. This is saying that this is 7, and if that's 2.1, so it'd be 7 plus 1.5. So 8.5 would be the center by, hold on. So I can go to File, Document Properties. I'm going to set my grid to, oh, well, we're in inches, right? Is it doing, oh, wait, hold on. I think I have been doing the whole thing in millimeters. Yeah, those were millimeters. Did I do it in inches? No, I did it in millimeters. Okay, I did it right. Haha, that's funny. I actually happened to do it right this time. Okay, so I can actually adjust my grid so that I can just snap these little guys on. So let's do that real quick, just to demonstrate a little bit of the power again of Inkscape. So okay, so if this is 8.1, so what is the for my x axis? What is my y axis? Well, here. So first of all, 8.1. What just happened? That was weird. Oh, it zoomed out. Okay. Getting back, document properties, spacing 8.1. And usually it opens up a PDF in the web browser. I'm kind of disappointed that it just opened it up with the document reader. It's however they set it up, you know, in their coding. Okay, so let me think. So this right here to here is, oh, you know what? The grid needs to be half of 7, so 3.5 plus 1.5. 3.5 plus 1.5. Oh, just 5. What do you know? What do you know? Okay, let's go back to Inkscape. There we are. And did it again, but whatever. Okay, so 3.1 is divided by 2. 0.1 divided by 2 is 1.55 plus, what is half of this? This right here is 1.4, so it's 1.4 divided by 2. Okay, so that'll be my grid right there. So I can delete you, delete you. Nope, nope. Okay, and in theory, let's see about this. Yep, that's how she would look, except for I think I inverted her. Yeah, I inverted her. Hold on a second. Document properties. 5. Okay, let's try this again. Hey. That's what she's supposed to look like. Okay, so yeah, if I wasn't dyslexic, this would be a lot. I'm sure that I'll be able to present this a little bit better, but there's a lot. What I'm trying to say is, and I can go to path union. The point is that there's a lot of flexibility and potential. It's actually very similar to, I guess what's it called? EagleCAD in that sense. So it's a great program. You can also, you can make your own lines. You can control the width of those lines with, like, let's say I don't want that. I want none. You could control the width of those lines by increasing the stroke. You could say I want 5mm stroke, even though I don't. 0.2 for most. Anyways, so back to this. Okay, so back to converting. So I think that I gave you a good idea of how that Inkscape is very flexible, right? Now, what I want to do, again, is I want to export this into Blender, and then in Blender, I'm going to export it as an object, and then make it so that you can copy and paste it into EagleCAD. So now, first things first. So most of the time, what are my exact dimensions? I will. Most of the time in Inkscape, it'll take the natural coordinates representation of each object is going to be the lower left-hand corner. And in Blender, it's the upper right-hand corner. No, sorry, the upper left-hand corner, as opposed to the lower left-hand corner. So what does that mean? So let me show you real quick. So if I were to, here, let me let me create a circle real quick, and I'm going to set it to the bottom. I set this to 44, this to 44. Oh wait, no, that's to, let's set that to negative 22. So we want to center it, negative 22. This will be 44, this will be 44. And we will lock it. And I'm going to change it because for me that's kind of an unpleasant color. There we are. Those seem to match. Okay, so what I've done here is I've centered my 44 millimeter circle because that's the thickness of the barrel that I'm making. These right here are supposed to be battery contacts, which are going to be on both sides of my, I guess, my battery holder. And they are what I need to import into EagleCAD. So I'm going to grab these, and since this circle is 44 millimeters, so it matches up my with my previous design, I'm going to set this to positive 22 and this to 0. And I'm going to make sure that my document properties, I should have done this earlier. So it needs to be in millimeters and 22 by 22. Now, I chose 22 because it's half of 44, and the math was just easy for me. You could have, I guess technically, maybe I'll make this easier. You can technically do that. Nope. Oh well. It looks like if you do 0, 0, it'll give you a blank document. Okay, so this was the easiest way. Hey, my way worked. Hey. Anyways, I'm gonna set that to 0. Okay, so bottom line is again, when you import into Blender, you're gonna want to have this I guess this lower left-hand corner, the lower left-hand corner of your object be right on the upper left-hand corner of your document sheet. So if I say save as, I do battery contact tutorial SVG. Okay, so now I'm going to open up Blender. I can literally delete everything here. So I'm going to hit A twice, hit delete. I'm going to import an SVG. And I put it in Gun 4. I said battery tutorial, contact tutorial. So I'm going to move my screen over here. And I'm going to select one of the objects, and I'm going to hit the decimal button on the keypad. Okay, and then I'm going to hit 7 to give me a top view. I'm going to hit N to open up this bar. Let's see real quick. Now, if your item is too small, you're going to have clipping. So what I suggest is, okay, and right now my clipping is in just generic Blender units. You want to hit this button. It's like the cylinder, the light, and the circle. Yeah, I guess it's your scene is what it's called. And you're going to hit metric. So now we're in metric. And so it's going to say my clipping is when the camera is within 10 centimeters, right? Well, if I get too close, it disappeared, right? And by the way, you can zoom in and out with the flywheel. Or you can use the plus and minus button. Okay, so but I don't want that clipping. I don't want it to just disappear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it down to 1 millimeter. That way I can literally, zoom up on it entirely and it's all good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete my circle. Delete. And I'm going to put this bar back. Now, I have not moved my 3D cursor yet. But in case you clicked on the screen, you're going to move it. And you want to reset it, all the values right here, because eventually we're going to have to take this and we're going to have to rotate it. I'm going to rotate it. So R for rotate, X to constrain on the X-axis, 90. And I can hit 1 for front, Now you'll notice that it says front perspective right now. If you hit 5, it'll be an orthographic. And you could just hit 5 back and forth. And you better have a keypad, because if you're trying to use the number line on the top of your keyboard, it's not going to work. Blender knows that there's a difference. It has other functionality for those keys, so it needs to be the number pad. Anyways, and again, I want orthographic because an orthographic is like your CAD version. Okay, now, so this right here is incorrect Blender units right now. I export it as millimeters. It's in millimeters here. But when I import it into Eagle, it's going to think Blender wants to export it as meters. And this is going to want to read it as millimeters. So I'm actually going to scale this by 100. I'm going to hit S. Oh, and make sure you're on, again, make sure that your 3D cursor is at the center. I just told you how to do that, right? And I'm going to make sure that your 3D cursor is selected under this pivot point, rotation scale 3D cursor. Then hit scale, then hit 100. Enter, I'm going to hit decimal. And, you know, just to be safe, I'm going to make sure that it fits a previous object. I'm going to rotate, select that object and rotate it on the x-axis 90. Okay, so yeah, so right now it's to scale. So everything's looking quite nicely. I'm going to delete that. Now I'm going to hit this curve. I'm going to hit, oh, interesting. If you hit tab and you have not already changed your modes, you should be right into edit mode. Actually, because it's not a mesh, it's not offering you other modes right now. So if you hit Alt-C in object mode, Alt-C with your cursor over the screen, it'll turn into a mesh. Now if I hit tab, or if I click on edit mode, y'all see this. Now assuming that you have filled in faces, if you hit Shift, Control Alt M, oh, is this not gonna work? Okay, hit edge mode first. I apologize, because yeah, if I hit if I select the manifold vertices, because there's no vertices no non-manifold vertices inside, it'll select your entire mesh. But I'm going to hit again edge mode. Make sure that you're in edge select, and you can either hit Shift Alt M, or if I hit A again, I'll show you how to manually do it. You can hit non-manifold, and it will select your non-manifold edges. Now you can hit Shift to pan your screen. And then obviously you hit, you hold down the middle flywheel if you just want to rotate the screen. Hit 5 again. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control I. After my edges of this meshes are selected, this is all I want. This is the part of the code that I want to copy and paste into EagleCAD. Is just those edges, right? I don't need them to be triangulated. I don't need to have anything else inside of them. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control I, right? And notice that I selected the inside edges of my mesh. And I'm going to hit Delete. I'm going to hit the Delete button, and don't just click. A lot of people just click. And then hit Delete only edges and faces. Okay, so now right here, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to hit, you're still in edit mode, right? Hit P, separate by loose parts. Okay, now you could rename these. Like for example, I'm going to select, I could say mesh 1. Mesh 1, or top circle. Top circle. So that's top circle. This is circle 2. I'm going to call this one your friend. And I'm going to call this one the alien. Why not? Okay. I don't know. You're saying, what do you mean, why not? Why? But I have fun with life, and I just like to name my stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit A, just so that I know that one of these objects, see how these are darker shades than this one? I know that they're selected. If they're all dark, then you know that you're not selecting them right. And you know what? Just for good, just to make it pretty, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna set my 3D cursor to the center, and I'm gonna save as, just in case you want to go back and re-edit this stuff. I'm gonna save it in gun. I'm gonna save it in battery, contact, tutorial. Okay, so now again, this is saved. These are separate objects. I deleted the mesh inside. I scaled it. It's in metric. We're about ready to go. So I'm going to say File, Export, Wave. Okay, now, no wait, did I say OBJ? Okay, we're OBJ. I'm going to save it in Wire because this is where I've been saving my stuff. Battery contact tutorial.object. Export object. Okay, and I'm going to go to, and you can use Word, you can use almost anything, but I'm going to be using Leaf. Leaf is a basic word processor. Again, it's just like Word. Let's say LeafPad word processor. Wikipedia. No, Leaf iPad. What? Leaf Word. There you go, Google. List of word processors. Anyways, Leaf is great. Leaf is free on Linux. Again, you can use almost anything. Again, you could use WordPad. Now, I forgot to show you the websites in case you don't have Blender. Blender.org. You can download it. It's free. It's cross-platform. You can literally do anything. I've never seen this piece of art, but it looks amazing. You can make movies. You can make anything. It is literally, you could 3D print with this baby. You can even export stuff into Eagle, apparently. Ho, ho, ho. You can do anything. Like, this is literally my favorite art program. I've been using it for 7 years. I've made my entire shirt shop. I own an Etsy. And this is what my shop looks like. All these pieces of art were done in Blender. Everything. It was done in 3D. If you look at, you know, this Neuron shirt. This Neuron was literally sculpted. It was, I had splines and I had nodes, and I exported it with the particle rendering, and then I used GIMP to compile those layers. But I could have done that too in Blender. I didn't. Yeah, but you can do anything, literally anything. You could texture stuff. You can, again, yeah, I made a full-blown company right out of right off my desktop. These feathers right here. This is the hair modifier in Blender, and again I used splines and nodes and rotating around a center, and it was, yeah, it's the most beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful pieces of technology I think that they've in software that they've ever created. And again, if you ever want to go to if you don't have Inkscape, Inkscape.org. This is also priceless. You know, some things, everything takes some time to get used to, right? But both of these, like, if you think that you're going to get better, you know, that you could pay for better, you're wrong, because both of these are as perfect as it gets. Now I've seen there's some functionality that is in not Adobe Illustrator, but that there's in other pieces of software that I haven't seen in here, or this is updated and some of the functionality left. But it is open source, so if you know how to program, you can create your own stuff. And again, both of these I highly recommend. If you're in the industry, it's really good to know. Things that are open source, they update, and you get those updates. You're the first one to get those updates, and you can customize your stuff, because yeah, like you get to code it. So anyways, now that I've ranted on about my favorite stuff, let's go back to Leaf. Again, this is just a basic word processor. I'm gonna hit open. I'm gonna do battery. Where did I put it? Battery contact tutorial. That's what I called it, right? B for battery contact tutorial. Oh wait, no, that's SVG. Okay, I wanted the OBJ. Where did I save the OBJ? It'd be in Shaylin, wire, battery, contact tutorial, OBJ. Okay, here we are. Now, notice again how it says oh, no, it says your friend dot mesh. So it knows this is every one of these groups right here of coordinates. This is my X, this is my Z, this is my Y, right? And then I don't remember what this is. This is the vertice. What does this stand for? Is that the I don't know, but this is, I think, oh, what is it? Well, anyways, you can see that this was my top circle, right? And these are the different meshes, right? And these are the coordinates listed under the meshes. And we're going to extract those coordinates and we're going to copy and paste them into EagleCAD. So it looks, okay, so you're saying, oh, this looks so complicated. No, okay, so first of all, we're going to delete the top, right? We're going to select this V space right here. We're going to hit Control, I'm going to hit Control H because it's replace. Now, your replace function might be different than mine. Let's hit V space, replace with, what is that? Parentheses, forward parentheses, find and replace. Yes. Oh, wait, cancel. I wanted to replace all. Let me check. Replace all. Okay. Yay. Okay, so now I'm already halfway done. Oh, what the? I forgot about that. I can actually scroll through this, and I guess the it clips. So, anyways, I'm gonna hit Control H, and I'm gonna do the same thing, real quick. And if you can't seem to find the functionality of your word processor with you know, by of what do you call it, replacing those specific things, then I recommend doing it by hand. I've actually done it before, but I realize that this is a lot easier. I know that there's other things, like for example, Eclipse can do it, and I'm pretty sure that OpenOffice could do it. So in other words, I have stuff that there's other free things that can do it. I just choose Leaf. All right, so I'm gonna hit cancel. Yeah, let me and you want to get rid of this space, by the way, because EagleCAD needs to know the command, whether it be mesh or poly or wire, and then it needs to have a space, then a parentheses, number, space, so no comma, and then no space, parentheses, and then space the next unit. Like, it's kind of funny where you think that they would use commas, they use spaces. So you can't afford to have spaces between your parentheses. It just will screw it up. Anyways, okay. So I'm gonna copy this. So Control C, Control H. I'm gonna say I want to replace it with back colon, right? Replace all. Okay. Now I'm gonna hit Control H again. Now, for some reason, now this doesn't always happen. I don't know if it's exporting it from Inkscape or what that does this, but sometimes, let's see where my oh, I forgot to rotate it. Is that gonna hurt it? I don't know. Will that hurt it? That's a good question. Will that hurt it? I don't know. We'll see, I guess, huh? If I forgot to merge my rotation. Where'd it go? I was working on Leaf. Okay, here's Leaf. So anyways, so you don't always get perfect zeros. Sometimes I do, though. Like if it's just a single object, that might be the problem. If it's just a single object, most of the time, it'll, right off the bat, these will all be zeros, and in one quick round, you can turn them all into parentheses. But sometimes it doesn't always work that way. So I'm going to replace all those, all the 2s, all the 4s, all the 1s. Oh, and apparently this particular one has negative. Yeah. Find replace. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure that my entire meshes are like that. Oh, here's 0. See, this is usually what you'll get. You'll just get zeros. Okay, I'm gonna Control C, replace. Okay. So now I have my meshes, right? And I have my coordinates, just my X and Z coordinates, right? But well, okay, so in Blender they were X and Z, but now they are going to represent X and Y, right? Okay, I'm going to select all this. I'm going to hit semicolon. And I'm going to leave the semicolon at the end. And I'm going to hit select these guys, hit semicolon, hit these guys, hit semicolon, and finally hit these guys and hit semicolon. Now, for the titles, I'm going to hit Polygon. Polygon. And let's see. I'm going to copy and paste that for all my titles. So for each mesh, because that is going to be a new Polygon command in Eagle. Now what's going to happen is it's going to start in Eagle. It's going to start with this point, then go to this point, this point, this point, and it's going to go all the way around. And if I don't go back to the beginning point, there's going to be an empty edge or a non-manifold polygon. So I'm going to select the first point. I'm going to copy and paste it, and then at the bottom, right in front of that semicolon, I'm going to hit paste. Copy, paste. And the semicolon is to tell you it's a new command, right? So you want that semicolon there. You really, really want that semicolon there. Okay, so now it's perfect. I have my beginning point. It'll scroll all the way until it comes back to my beginning point. I have my polygon command, and I have the end of my command. And so I have done that with all 4 models or meshes. And now I can hit Control C, and I'm going to, no, I don't want to delete that. I'm going to go File. I got to hit my library. Let me go back to my library. File, Open, Library. And I'm going to go to Jared's library. Jared's part library. And where is battery polygon? It would appear that I've already done this once. I'm going to delete that though, because I have my reasons. Something didn't, oh, what are those? Weird. Okay, anyways, I don't think there's any clipping in here. So I'm going to take my leaf command. Watch this. I'm going to hit Control A and Control C. So Control A to select all, Control C to copy, and I'm going to go into EagleCAD and Control C V. Okay, so I pasted that code into this bar right here, right? And I hit enter. Now, first of all, I kind of screwed up. Why? Because in wire mode, I had this selected. Now, what's going to happen is when you paste the code, it's running around these points that we made, right? But it's going from point to point with this right angle. Idealistically, I want this line, wire bend to. So let me Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and I can delete those because each one of those was a separate command in here, right? But clicking on the wire, I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna make sure that it's the straight wire, right? Now I'm gonna copy and paste my code. Boom, that's it. That's what I wanted. I'm gonna save. And it's saved under, what is it saved under again? It's saved under battery polygon. Save, file, save all. Save, 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 save. You always want to save. Okay, now, what you can do now is you can even click on these guys and properties. I don't want him to, what do I want him to be? I think I want him to be, he's going to be bottom. Properties. Oh, flippin'. Stop it. Stop it. Oh. See? See, people aren't perfect. I'm not perfect. You got a problem with people being perfect? Properties. I'm going to set this to bottom. Properties. Set it to bottom. Now, you could have set it to top, but because I'm sure that most of you are going to want your weird shape to be on top. Where did I put it? Properties. And I'm going to put bottom, apply. Okay. So then I got to save, save, save all. Was that save as? No, that was save all. Okay. Now, so you're saying, okay, Jared, well, what if I wanted a wire? Now, let me show you how to do that real quick. Oh, I did it again. Ah, stop it. Oh, I totally forgot you could do that. Oh. So, let me get onto the wire. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how to do the wire, or the, do project, recent project, project, open, let's do new project. New project, open project, file new, schematic. Okay, so I'm gonna do random. Do I have any light bulbs? I don't even know. I just need to open up a random project. Okay, well, I mean, I just need to put random stuff here because I'm just showing you how to do the outline, right? Let's put some capacitors. I don't even know what that is, but it's cool looking, right? Okay, so let's make a new board. Okay, so here's the board. So let's say that I want to make a really cool outline. I think the coolest thing in the world is a skull. I'm gonna hit images, and I'm gonna grab that, view image, save image as, Shaylin, skeleton, PNG 55. Okay, so I'm gonna do open, new, default, in Inkscape, and do file, import, skeleton 55. Okay, and I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna do path. Oh wait, is this a? No, it's not. It's a picture. Do path, trace bit. Yeah, trace bitmap, and make sure that you're selected your object because you can't trace something that you're not selected to. I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna make sure it's brightness cutoff, smooth, remove background, update just to check. Okay, so I'm gonna move this guy over here and delete this guy, which is the image. I know that this is my scalar graphic because when I click on it, it has, what do you call it? It has all the nodes on it. I'm gonna do file. Okay, hold on a second. 44 millimeters is what I used last time, right? And do 50 millimeters. Oh wait, oh, forgot about that. Make sure that you're in millimeters. Select my object, 55. Oh, enter. There we are. So he is 55 high, 68 long. Hit 5. Okay, I'm gonna put him at the top of my document sheet. Just make sure that both these values are positive. File. Let's see, document properties. Let's just I'm gonna make sure that these are millimeters because sometimes it'll want to export funky. That was funky and wonky put together. Just so you know, that wasn't like a failed cuss word or anything. Okay, so my document properties are in millimeters. This is measured in millimeters. It's 50 millimeters, so it's actually a pretty good size for a board. I'm gonna hit, what am I gonna hit? Export, save as, files, save as. Oh, hey, I got a skull.svg. I'm gonna save it as skull.svg and replace it. I'm gonna go to Blender. Let's do this and do it. We're running through this faster. Okay, hit hit A twice. Make sure that everything's selected. Delete. Okay, file, up, file, import, SVG. Where did I put it? Skull.svg. Okay, I'm gonna select my curve. There she is. I'm gonna scale her by 100. Okay. I'm gonna hit R for rotate, X to constrain to the X-axis, 90 to rotate her 90. Enter. I'm gonna hit 1 on the number pad so that I get the front view. 5 for orthographic view. I'm going to hit Alt-C and turn it to a mesh. Then I'm going to look at my mesh and you can see that there's tons of polys, everything. I don't want that. So while it's a mesh, I'm gonna hit Control. I'm gonna hit this wrench thingy, add modifier. Again, we have this item selected. Make sure you're in object mode. I'm gonna hit decimate, planar, and I'm gonna hit, yeah, that should work, 5 degrees. Notice that there are a lot fewer points. I think I might even do the decimate one more time. Collapse. And I'm going to collapse that until there's even fewer. Okay. Now I'm going to hit edge mode. Shift, Control, Alt, M. Oh. You know what? I don't need the jaw, the bottom jaw. Now I could take this bottom jaw and I could only select it, but you know that the truth is that this guy right here, if he's not going to be connected to the bottom of the jaw, then it's going to come out as 2 PCBs anyway, and I just want 1 PCB. So I'm not cutting corners. I'm doing the reasonable thing. Okay, so again, edge select mode, Control Alt M, or you could have done select non-manifold and do Control I for invert, delete only edges. That is perfect. Let's take a look again at my vertices. That's what she looks like. It's still a lot, but it's okay. I can live with it. File. Okay, no, I'm gonna hit Control A. First of all, let's look at this right here. Control A, location, rotation, and why not scale? Am I metric? Metric. Yeah, make sure you're in metric. Okay, file, export, object. And by the way, if this does not export into EagleCAD as nicely as you would like it, like if it's scaled wrong, chances are, and I think I might have even messed up the first time, even make sure that when you import it, for example, file, open, library, Jared, and open a random part. Okay, when you're importing something, right, like this, make sure that you are on, your dimensions are in millimeters, right? You know, I might have not done that last time. I apologize for those that faithfully that watched the video all the way through. You guys are, and listen to it. You're heroes in my book. Anyways, so either that. So there's a couple different things that could throw off your importing scale, right? Anyways, so I apologize if I messed anyone up there. Kudos for you that watched it all the way through. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna hit in wire. I'm gonna do skull, Shaylin video wire. Interesting. Now in leaf pad, I'm gonna open up leaf pad. File open. Skeletal. Skull. Shaylin video wire. Skull.object. Now notice, because I'm just going to do what I did earlier. Control C, Control H, Control V. Place all. Yes. Nope. Did I? Replace all. Yes. 1. Replace all. Yes. 2. Oh. Did I already do 3? Nope. 4. 5. Is that everything? Let's make sure that's everything. Looks like everything, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks like everything. Okay. Find. Replace what? Nope, cancel. Control C. Control H. Control V. Find and replace. Yep. And do wire instead of polygon. Turn this into a semicolon. Now there's a lot of points here. I apologize for the complexity. I'm going to show you another. Whoa. Is that literally all one polygon? Or one wire? It just feels like I skipped a lot. Dang. That's intense. Wait, there should be multiple. Wait, hold on. Sculpt that object. Oh. Okay, I forgot. You know what? Let's try this real quick. So what I was supposed to do is separate by loose material, right? Or by loose parts, which again you would do by in edit mode, you select everything, hit P and loose parts. Let's see what happens if you don't. I'll just take this right here, Control C, go to the bottom. I'm gonna show it, well, I'm pretty sure I know what happens. I'm just gonna see though, like, so this is gonna be a learning experience for both of us. Delete, 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 delete. Now, in theory, what's happening in Blender, so it stores all of these in arrays, right? And if they're all connected in one array, then it's going to go, and at the end of this array, it's going to jump to this one, go around, and jump to this one, go around, jump to this one, go around, and jump to this one. So it should import, but it'll look super funky. Okay, I'm going to do wire, enter, and I got nothing. Oh, there she is. Yeah, see how she, well, first of all, see how she's curvy? It's because, I mean, she's got the angles. It's because, again, it selected this one. She's about the size that I, oh, you know what? I am in inches, aren't I? See, I did it again. I hate doing that. But anyways, but you can see that, yeah, like it'll go in the array and it'll jump to the next. Yeah, anyways, so again, we want to separate our material, then file, export, object, school, yes. File, open, no. Okay. Now do wire. And do the same thing. Three, 5, 4, 1, and 0, and it usually doesn't go beyond that. Okay. Okay, so, you know, I'm just going to do this at the same time. I'm going to copy, paste my line at the end. And I'm going to turn this into a semicolon. I'm going to hit wire. Copy and paste this at the end. Hit semicolon, I guess. Delete this. Wire. Oh, wire. Copy and paste this to the end. And this is probably the outline of the skull. Semicolon. And I'm going to delete, hopefully, what is, nope, it's not the last. Hit wire, copy, semicolon. Hopefully this is the last. Every time there's a separate object, it's going to show up here. Okay, that's the last of it. Control A, Control C. Okay. And hit my group selection tool, right click, delete, right click, delete group. Okay, so now that that's deleted, let me make sure that I'm in millimeters. Now I will import my skull. Oh, wait, hold on, make sure the wire is on flat. Now I will import my skull, and boom, there she is. Okay. Wow, that was intense. Okay, well, thank you for... Oh, you know what? I did something wrong again. So, okay, so if I want to import as dimensions, let me delete that one more time. Delete group. Okay, so I'm gonna hit wire, not bottom. I'm gonna hit dimensions. Make sure it's wire straight. There you go. There are your dimensions. Now I can move this guy here. Now notice that he won't move outside. He won't move out in the negative area. Anyways, I know that was super complicated, right? Just to import a little shape, but it's one way of doing it. Now, I don't have what's it called? I use Inkscape, right? And I use Blender, and I use the free stuff. But in theory, if you have, let me type in EagleCAD outline, edge outline, custom. Let's see here. There is a guy who wrote a very good article right here, toddbot.com. Now there's, you could download this code, probably save it inside of your, anywhere really. He goes through, so toddbot.com shows you how to import it from Illustrator to Eagle. And it's obviously, it would be a little less complicated than what I do. Now he shows you in the picture running the there's like a ULP button in your EagleCAD. It looks like he's running Apple. In my updated version, if you hit File, Run ULP, that's how I'd reach that. And I could scroll down to import DXF. Don't ever do BPM. It's terrible stuff. Now the problem that I've had with the importing that is a lot of times, well, because this piece of code is really made for, if I'm not mistaken, let me find it, DXF 13. And is it 13 or 14? I can't remember what it is. Let's see real quick. R13 DXF. And in Inkscape, that's there's a lot of different. There's a couple of DXF options. Okay, well maybe not in Inkscape, but I'll often import an Inkscape file into Library CAD and then export it as a different DXF. You're really kind of stuck, I guess, in Inkscape with DXF R14. And it just seems it's been finicky for me. But if you have, I guess, Apple or Windows or whatever runs this, it might run better. I mean, obviously, if you do have Illustrator, I guess is what I'm saying, is that this is a nicer solution. So don't think that, I guess, what I've showed you is the only solution. I just showed you one way that works, one way that I know that works. and it's I know it's a little bit complicated, or I don't want to say convoluted, complicated, but it does work, and I'm going to be using it in the future. I guess I can show you just for test purposes how this might work. Let's see, move. What if I want to move this guy? And I can go auto route, low, medium, continue, start. Okay, so notice how it went around the eyeball. This is a proof of concept. Oh, and whatever. So, but yeah, that's a proof of concept. Thank you for joining me, for watching my video. I hope that somebody finds this useful. Again, don't hate on my video. You know, I took my time to show you how I do it. And again, I know that this method works. I also showed you how some other methods, and thank you, for your patience, and life is good. Leave a comment, visit my shirt shop. Again, it's, I don't know, Etsy. If you go to Etsy, it's steampoweredlifeform.com, or if you type in steampunk animal shirts, I'm one of the first. Let's say if you type in steampunk, for example, shark shirt. This is me. This is my stuff. Anyways, yeah, steampoweredlifeform.com. Or you shoot me. I'm on Facebook. You can shoot me. The name's Jared Renfro. Yeah, you can shoot me a Facebook friend request. Or if you have like a serious question too, like, hey, how did you do this in Blender? How'd you do this in Inkscape? How'd you do this in EagleCAD? Yeah, like if you have a serious question, post it. But obviously, I don't want to hear like negative crap. So yeah, have a good one. Hope you enjoy this.